Hello YouTubies! Welcome back, I'm Grant, this is the garage, this is Granty's Garage. Temu Max Power Ford Focus Budget Showcar build continues. What are we doing today? Well, it needs some side skirts on here. We're working our way through, for anyone who's not seen the video, building as cheap a body kit or customizing the body as we can prior to eventually wrapping the car. We've done a hood or a bonnet, we've done a front bumper, we've done a back bumper, all of which are over here drying as they all needed extra coats of paint so that the wrap will stick. When you look at the quality of my painting, you'll see why we're wrapping it. And we're making side skirts today. Not an original idea, but cheap as chips. We have more drain pipe or gutter. So let's stick them on the car while I can access the side of it, because the other one's not in here because I needed to turn it into a paint shop. For those new to the channel, and a reminder to those returning viewers, we're trying to turn this bog standard Ford Focus into something that at least vaguely resembles a Max Power, Sexspec, showcar sort of car that would have been popular in the early 2000s. And we're trying to do it for as cheap as possible to make it look something like this. This is the AI drawing concept, if you like, that's loosely going to be followed, but is hopefully something like what the car will end up looking like at the end. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see what we get up to in further videos. What I will do at the end of this video is give you a walk round. For anyone who's been watching any of the others, you'll see we finished all of the parts, like the bumpers and things like that, to a point where I needed to go and put loads of paint on them. So at the end of this video, we'll give you a walk round of the new bits we've put on, as well as the other bits all now finally being attached. So it can now start to take shape and actually start looking like a different car, and eventually one day hopefully something resembling a Max Power car. So stay tuned, we'll stick that in at the end. So what's next? We've cut them to length. You will see I have cut out some sections. These are really rough. They don't need to be pretty. They're never going to be seen. If anyone's wondering, this is so on this car, to jack it up, you do so by the pinch weld at the bottom. An idea I hate, but there don't seem to be actual jacking points. So what I've done is I've just cut away a piece here that will allow me to probably, and we can always redo this, jack up the car without needing to impact these or take them off. Now the plan, looking at the shape of them, probably should have looked where that was going, is that actually this end, this line here, is going to butt right up against the sill, but this wider surface is going to be where we're going to mount it. Now I would go for just self-tappers, put it in, and be done with it, be at peace with it, but even though it's not like the most ideal, you want to maybe put something in there and put like rust prevention, for the sake of, these are probably going to need to come off to get wrapped, or it's going to be easier for a novice like me to mess up wrapping these with them off rather than on the car. The plan is going to be probably, he says, at least 2 self-tappers in it, and then some double-sided tape in sections across. I've given, you'll see in a minute from the puddle, given the seals a clean so that that will adhere better, with a view that there's only maybe 2 holes that maybe I can use again, maybe I can't. Now, what I am going to quickly do though, because I like to overthink about things, plan ahead, is I am going to put a couple of double holes along where the middle part particularly is, because I've already had a look at where I will want to mount the underbody lights, because of course it's going to have underbody lights. And I think mounting them to this will be the smartest thing. I will never just trust double-sided tape, even for something as light
as them. I am a dad. I can make dad jokes. So I'm just going to put in 2 little holes, and I'm going to put a cable tie or a zip tie through them. The idea of that being, I can then put the light through it when I put the lights on, which I will do as soon as realistically possible. Obviously, there's loads of jobs to get going at the moment. And then I can slide them in, zip them up, as it were, and they'll just be hanging under here, hanging out until we do that, not worrying at all. What I should end up with is a nice angle where it sticks out flared. It'll be fairly uniform because this line maintains all the way down the side of the car along the sill. And I should be able to, when they eventually permanently go on, and I'll probably use more self-tappers, or we go for something like proper, like Tiger Bondy stuff, should be able to jack the car up without any problem. So I'm going to go and drill those holes and measure out obviously where those lights are going to go. Measure once, drill once, and then hopefully it'll be dry enough I can stick bits of sticky back double-sided 3M tape stuff on it, grab a couple of self-tappers, get the car high enough I can get the drill underneath, because I'm going to put them in with the drill and just save mucking about. And these should probably be on in not too long. But I do like to drag some of these jobs out. So let's go drill some holes. Now, in an attempt to just show you what we've done, and I need to sort out these bits of tape and these nasty stickers that are on these things. Oh, I'll do it when we're off camera. Boring Grant. Cable tie in here, as we say, that leaves the smallest profile of it this end. It will go flat, and for the bumpiness that's underneath the car, that's not going to be a concern for sort of sticking in the way or distorting it, because it's not truly flat under there. So now I'm going to go stick these on. Quite excited to finally do it. The only thing is I've got to work out how, if we show you guys with the camera, why did that one come off so easily? It was pretty dark and it'll be weird angles and stuff. So apologies in advance if potentially the next shot is just them on the car. Let's see what happens. So they are on. The footage in the time lapse was probably awful because of the needing to move around, and this was definitely a job where it would have helped to have at least one friend and another pair of hands. One slight issue, they're ever so slightly long. I lined them from the front because the front is the sort of the point of truth I was using, so I will just get a saw, cut the end of that off. They're on for now. They're not unsturdy, but they're not permanent, because I want to take them off when I wrap them, but I've got them on, so I think I'll cut off those ends and then call it a day. It's pretty late here. Time to look at the next thing we'll be doing, and we need a bit of extra going on here. That was the general plan. So I have got these Temu special fender flares, £6.66 these cost me for 4, which is pretty good. I thought these would come in very brittle, cheap plastic for that, but actually the plastic of these, and that's a weird thing to say, but it's really good. It's strong, it's flexible, it's really nice and smooth, it's not brittle. I'm actually quite impressed with these. So I did some mocking up, didn't I? And this is where I'm going to place them. This is the rear one. Going to follow the line. They're slightly more forward than they're supposed to be, but I quite like the look. I'm going to cut it at the bumper and leave that flat. Follow the line round for the door, and behind it, tape's not holding it too tight, as you can see, but I'm following the line. Let's show you. I'm following this line, basically.
because I realised if I roll the arches out, then I need to make the bumpers fit better again. And I don't want to do that just yet, so that's what I'm going with. I'll show you what it's going to look like from the front as an idea. And then we'll get some wheels and pull them out. The skirts make the car look a lot lower already, so when I come to lowering it, maybe not going to do too much for the state of the alley. I'll have to get the car out, particularly more than anything else, as with lowering the Boxster. However, the flares, as we will show you, whee! Like all universal parts, designed to fit all cars and probably fit none. Can you see they don't quite follow? They're fine when they're hanging down, because you can change the shape of the arch, if you like. But I actually can't find a way that I'm even remotely happy with what these look like on the front. And then I stood up and I had a look at the car. And this is a very much, Grant's going to do what he wants with this car. And I quite like the front being ever so slightly narrower looking. So I think I'm actually going to leave them off the front for now. So, the next thing you'll see me doing, I'm going to be semi-sensible about this and prepare for the future. I am going to drill a very small pilot hole through the 4 holes, well the divots where it obviously wants to have a screw, because it's got a flat piece on the back for you to be able to screw through if you want. In the future, these will just be riveted on, but for now, I will drill a small pilot hole so it definitely lines up. Put a self-tapper through. That hole I will reuse for the rivets, with a view that I can screw them out. When we come to wrap the car, it might be easier to wrap that and then wrap that separate and then rivet them on, or I have the flexibility to do what I want with that then. Because we can't really do it, I don't want to do anything too mega permanent, as you saw with the side skirts, and obviously like bumpers can come off, because we're going to have to wrap the car at some point, and I'm going to need to make that as easy as I can, because as of yet, I don't know if I would have shown you the fail with the chameleon tint in the lights yet. I appreciate that's thicker stuff. That didn't go well. So the other thing I'll be doing tonight, if this all goes to plan, is smoothing those guys out. But let's drill some holes in this car, point and no return again. Woo! Put the self-tappers into the Fender flares. You'll forgive me sitting like this. I'll sometimes like watch the bits I've recorded back and realise I'm just dreadfully not in the shot when sometimes I actually intend to be. This is very much a project of where we can use what we have. These self-tappers are the ones with a screw for a Phillips head in the front of them. I've used ones before that are like an 8mm or a 10mm on the top. If you're going to get any, get those. They are way better and way easier to work with. However, these are what I've got in the garage. These are what I'm going to use. I'd like to think I'm going to get away with only putting in like 1 or 2, but I thought I'm going to put all 4 in, because I'm not putting any tape on the back just to hold any other pieces in place. It's probably going to want some there just to stick the corner in, or something more permanent once we've assessed the wrapping element. So, without, I suppose, further ado, let's whack this other glove on, which I should have done for all the other bits, and stick this guy on and see how it turns out. Well, that's good stuff. Now here's what we talked about just with the stickiness needed. I maybe could get away with getting another thing through there. Maybe I should just do that, be done with it. It's not going to impact the bumper at all. Doesn't affect there, doesn't go through. Conveniently placed. Not sure I get away with that on the other one. They're ever so slightly off. And it's not perfect, it's for now. I will paint the hole and make sure that it won't be succumbing to rust when I take these off and eventually put the rivets in. So don't go crazy. Please go crazy in the comments. I could use the engagement to grow the channel. There's a couple of things I want to do to this that at this moment in time are maybe just a bit more than I want to spend on it. Want to do Lamborghini door vertical hinges. They're pretty dear and you can't find them cheap anywhere, because I was quite happy to get like a dreadful set and give it a go. That doesn't look like it's going to be an option, and the wrap is actually still a couple of £100. So if I could get the channel monetized, that it can at least just pay a little bit towards that, that would be an absolute mega result, and then I can keep doing things like this. Anybody in the comments, give me an idea. This is the first car I've ever had that's got wheel studs as that you put nuts on. The American way, I gather, from a short video I posted a while back, and the American said, "Hey, you should move to America and your wheels will be this way round." What do you do when you put spacers on? Can you take them out? Anyone give me any ideas? Super helpful. So please comment, please like, please share, please subscribe. Just help a guy out. If you've enjoyed watching it, thank you very much. And I'm glad you've enjoyed it, but we can help each other. Yeah, let's go get another guy for that one. So here's my attempt at showing you a walk around the car. Now we've got all these bits on. I can only get so far away from it in the garage. I could take it outside, but then I'd be granty outside of the garage. Spoiler, end plates on, happy with that. Bumper, pretty happy with how that's come out. Fender flares. Side skirts, which actually are one of my favourite parts for how low they make the car look, and they kind of tie everything together. And the front bumper, try over here. Amazing having better lights in the garage. Still need to put the fog lights in there, but it makes it unnecessarily heavy, and they'll have to come out again when it's wrapped. And the bonnet, still waiting for the because they obviously we still need to wrap it. No headlights in it at the moment, so next thing for me is a whole load of sanding, because I'm going to give them a restoration from failing the chameleon tint, and that will probably be in another video. That's going to be it from me on this one. We've got side skirts on, fender flares, we've got a couple of little bits to do with the lights. I've got quite a few kind of little bits to now go and look after as well. Still need to rebuild like the back seats and everything, where I had the welding work done, and do some other parts. I think the next exterior work on this job is going to be something that's going to be more substantial. It will either be maybe the Lambo doors, or possibly even getting into wrapping it. I'm very keen to get it the one colour that I want it. And then, who knows, actually. So subscribe, you'll see what happens next to this car. It's starting to get warmer and lighter, so hopefully I can start getting it out to some meets as well and see what other people think. Let us know what you think of it so far in the comments, for what it's cost, the lack of skill that the applicator has in terms of experience as well for doing this kind of thing. Never done this sort of stuff to a car before, so giving it all a go. And share some ideas. Share what you'd like to see on it. I'm open to anything. This isn't a set idea in my head. I want it to be different. I want it to be crazy. So drop a comment on what you'd want to see next. And we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.